Hey guys, Corey here, and I'm going to have sharing deep story with you today. And it's a story of how I saved my own life. Seriously, and this has really come to light for me recently about how intense this really was. So I've been sharing this story in person to a few people, and it's caused me to want to put it out there and share it with all of you, because I love how you guys follow me and you get some tips. But know that the things that I share with you now, I haven't always been this way. I haven't always been this healthy, definitely, and I haven't done all of those. We all have a journey. So I'm going to share with you a little bit about my journey. So, hey Amy. All right, so as you guys pop on, I will try to give some shout outs, but know that sometimes I get a little distracted and stuck in my story and just want to share it. And it's a little tough for me to put this out there, but I really feel that it can help you. And if you feel that it would help someone that you know, then share it with them, because we can all get through that. So about 17 years ago or so, I started having, actually before that I was having some health issues, but I just ignored it and figured I was young and I could just get through it. And then about 17 years ago, it started to really affect my everyday. It started to affect the things that I had to do, and at the time I was going to school, so it affected that. And I went to a doctor, and they just prescribed me a medication and said, in a couple of weeks you'll feel better. Put full trust into that, because that's all I knew is, you go to the doctors, whatever they tell you that's, gospel, right? So you follow that, and that's what I did. But in a couple of weeks I didn't feel better, and I went back with actually more issues. And he gave me another medication in addition to that and said, okay, here, start taking this, because this will help with this new thing. So I did it. I took it home and just followed through with it, and I still wasn't feeling better. So to speed up that story, over the course of about 3 or 4 years, with more medications and different changes and some different changes in, we'll say, like dosage and changing some medications out, at the end of about 3 or 4 years, I was taking upwards of 20 medications a day, combination of prescription and over the counter. And I thought that this was going to help me feel better, but more and more different things started happening. And I did that. I followed that protocol for about 20 years. No, about 12 years. Mathing in my head, right? About 10 to 12 years as I followed that with some changes throughout it. But I wasn't healthy. Guys, I was sick all the time. I was getting like more than just the cold. I was getting the flu. I was getting pneumonia. I was getting like 4 to 5 migraines a week. My digestive system was all out of whack. Like, I'd be constipated one week and then total opposite diarrhea the next week. I was bloated. I was losing significant amount of weight without changing anything with my diet. I wasn't eating healthy, but I thought I was, and I was exercising, but I wasn't necessarily doing the right thing that I know now. And I followed on this, but it got really scary for me when my heart and my brain got involved in this. So like my heart would just skip beats, or it would stop, and I would just randomly pass out. So randomly pass out and like bang my head on things. So this is where it got really scary for me, that something had to change. And then at the end of it, say for 18 solid months, I was on some serious antibiotics because I had this full body infection that they couldn't get rid of. So they just pumped me full of antibiotics for 18 months. At the end of this, I was venting to a friend and said, I'm in my early 30s. I'm young. I'm miserable. I'm sick all the time. I'm coming to work sick because I can't be off of work because I have to make money so I can actually pay for my prescriptions. Because by this point, my insurance was not covering my prescription cost because the doctors couldn't prove that I actually needed the stuff because I still had the issues. So I was paying out of pocket. And so I had to work because I had to have the money. And I vented to a friend of mine, just kind of wallowing around in my sorrows and saying, you know, my life can't be this bad. You know, like, God can't hate me this much. What did I do wrong to deserve all of this? And she said to me, she goes, you know, there's an herbalist in town. Why don't you go talk to this natural herbalist? And I looked at her and I laughed. I seriously laughed and said, what is an herbalist going to do? Like, I'm going to doctors already. And she's like, well, what are the doctors doing for you? You know, she had a point. Is I wasn't getting better, even though I was going to the doctors. So then I took that. I made an appointment with this herbalist. I was a total skeptic. I didn't believe all this natural hippie stuff worked. I went there, arms are crossed, total closed off, and just said, you know, they told me I needed to make an appointment with you. Like, you're some magical unicorn or something. I sit down and I, you know, tell her what my ailments are. And I had a lot. I had a lot of issues. And then, you know, she's like, well, let's just pick one. So we worked on the one. I told her what that was. She goes into this other room. And it's a doorway, but it's got a curtain. So totally not like a doctor's office. And she goes behind this curtain. At that time, I literally visualized that she's putting on a witch's hat. And she's got this witch's cauldron, and she's just gonna brew me up some tea. Like, she comes out of this room, and I'm laughing, going, this is what I'm visualizing, that this is just hippie voodoo magic, and it's not going to work. But, you know, I ask her how much it costs. She tells me, my mind, I'm blown away, because what it costs is significantly less than what I'm paying in all the medications I'm taking. So I'm like, all right, fine. I don't believe you. I don't think that this is going to work at all, but whatever. Okay, here's my money. Give me this stuff. She told me what to do with it. I took it home and I tried it. And as I thought it was beginner's luck. Like, I felt a little bit better, but I thought it was beginner's luck. Like, there's no way that this stuff works. So then I tried it the next day, and I tried it the next day. And after, you know, about a week or so, you know, I reached out to her and I said, okay, something is working. Like, something's changing. I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense in my brain, because all that I've known, like, I've went through pre-med, I've got my doctorate degree, like, everything that I learned was all about medicine, and I didn't understand how this was working. So I was like, hey, introduce me to some stuff, or, you know, show me where your resources are. So, you know, she showed me what the resources were. I went and I purchased a couple of books, and I just dove in deep. Went to my doctor, worked with her, and, you know, hired the herbalist, hired my doctor, and said, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to change it all. And my doctor was skeptical also, but I was adamant, because I had felt this much better, and I hadn't felt any better in, you know, whatever, 15 years or so, right? So this gave me hope. And that tiny little bit of hope is what charged me to take 100% responsibility for my own health. So I brought on some natural things, you know, herbs, essential oils, whole foods. I changed my diet, changed my exercise program, because I was way off with what I was doing. And with all of those changes, in less than 3 months, I was off of all of those medications that I had been taking for almost like 15 years. And, you know, it's not necessarily for everybody to go through that, but that's what I did. That's my journey and my story. And I haven't looked back. That was almost 5 years ago. And I haven't taken anything. So now if something comes up, it's like, here, you know, I'll change my diet around. I make these little tweaks, because I'm taking responsibility for my health. And I look back on it now and say, you know, it's not my fault, because I didn't know any different. I had no idea. that there was another option out there. It's not my doctor's fault because that's all they know. I worked in healthcare. I still work in healthcare. It's not their fault. They don't know. Unless they take it on their own and educate themselves on these things, they're not learning it in school. They're not learning it in med school. They're not learning it through their residencies. So it's not their fault. It's not necessarily, it's not the hospital's fault. It's not anybody's fault, but I have to take responsibility for me. So that's what I did. And now I take it on as my responsibility to share it with the world. That's why I'm sharing this story with you guys, is because it impacted my life so much that if I can share with people that there is another option, whether you take that option is totally up to you. It doesn't affect me at all. But if you don't know about the other options, then you're making a misinformed decision. And that's all I did my entire life, was make misinformed decisions, because I was only given this much information. And I didn't know that there was another option, another opportunity out there for me to try something different. So that's why, it's like almost 5 years ago, it hit me that I didn't know that this was an option. How many other people out there also don't know? So that's what I did for me, is to change that on. And that's exactly why I started to do what I do now, is when I work with people, is just sharing them there is another option. You can choose it, you can choose the other, you've got a path. So pick which way you want to walk down. Over the course of 5 years, I am healthier. I haven't taken any medications. I've been sick, but it's been no comparison to what I used to get sick before. I haven't had the flu in 5 years. I have not had pneumonia in 5 years, where I was getting that almost every year, at least once or twice. I very, very, very rarely ever get a migraine. And when I do, it's actually manageable. So my health is totally transformed. That's exactly why I feel I saved my own life. For real. I saved my own life. If I had not made that switch, I don't know if I would be here. I don't know if I would be here to be able to share this with you. And maybe that's exactly why I went through all of those challenges. Maybe that's exactly why I went through that journey, so I could come back and share that with other people and give you guys hope that you do have a chance. You can save your own life. You can feel differently. You can be healthier. You can survive. And that's what I want to do, is to give that to other people. So for you guys that are new to following me, thank you so much. I appreciate you. If you are new, comment down below and tell me that, because I want to get connected with you and help you share your journey and make some health and wellness changes for you. Now, my name is Dr. Corey Campbell. Thank you so much, you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you for your time with watching this and sharing this with other people. If you have any questions at all, or if you want to learn more, just send me a private message and I'm happy to connect. You guys have a great day. Go out, crush it, make your dreams come true. Love you.